And we're about 30 strokes into the women's varsity 8 final here, the Nancy Lubbers Cup. Grand Valley is about 4 to 5 seats up on Eastern Michigan, who is 4 to 5 seats up on an even Ohio State, Michigan State battle going on. This varsity women's crew from Grand Valley really is quite gorgeous, rowing very nicely, very smoothly, really letting the boat push out. The Eastern Michigan crew is also likewise really sort of swinging quite nicely, getting the blades down in. I do have to give a shout out to the name of their boat. It is the Philip Beach Sullivan. That is my grandfather. So the Sullivan is doing pretty well and is trying to stick in there with Grand Valley. But the Grand Valley crew is clearly the class of this field. So coming into 500 meters at about a minute 40 or so, it's Grand Valley nice and swinging and pushing up. At about a 33 or so, very just good strong rowing. This is what allowed the Grand Valley crew last week to make the final out at the San Diego Crew Classic, beating Harvard what in the heat and really sort of sending some shock through the women's rowing world that a club crew in Division II from Michigan could have the same speed as the single most vaunted rowing program in the country. So they're really looking at this is a great exhibition of gorgeous technique and power that you're about to see here. Very nice blade work, very nice flow out of the bow. And the race behind is sort of also now stringing out a little bit. Eastern Michigan, a varsity Division I program, sort of coming back into its speed a little bit, and they are bow astern over Ohio State. Ohio State now bow astern over Michigan State. The Eastern Michigan women are really pushing nicely, sitting up strongly, and great body position, putting a little move in here to try and break off of Ohio State at about 34 and a half. The Ohio State crew is at 32 and a half, so maybe not quite matching the pace of the Eastern Michigan crew. And Michigan State now falling back a little bit as we come into the 1250 here. That would be, the 1,000 meter here. They're at about 340, which is a respectable time for these conditions. And the Grand Valley crew really just moving out stroke by stroke. Very, very solid, technical, powerful rowing. The rest of the race remains the same, except Michigan State has gotten dropped a little bit. And we have Eastern Michigan bow astern on Ohio State, but not quite breaking them yet. Not quite really getting out and trying to push. Starting to look just a little frantic. It looks like they may have tried to take a lift that didn't quite work, and the blades are getting caught up in the air. Now they seem to have gotten it back in control, and they've just broken away from Ohio State. A little bit of open water between their stern and the Ohio State bow ball. With 750 meters to go, Grand Valley just putting on a clinic here about how to race at a good national level pace. This is a solid, great elite crew. truly an elite college crew there. They were able to do very well at the San Diego Crew Classic last week, and it just shows putting on an absolute technique of power and swing, and they were able to open up fairly quickly over the rest of the field. Eastern Michigan got an easy length over Ohio State, but then really had to work through the middle 1,000 to get up. But now that they've broken them and gotten their rhythm back in place, they're just taking stroke by stroke coming in to the last 250 meters. Ohio State rolling a little bit low with rating. It looks good, it looks strong, but they didn't quite come out with the rating to compete with this Eastern Michigan crew. In another couple of weeks, it might be interesting to see what's happening. And then Michigan State has been trailing most of the way. So as we come into the final space here, Grand Valley throwing in a gorgeous, nice sprint to finish out. They will be just over 7 minutes, and a very nice race. And then some real estate back to the other two crews, but very definitely some nice improved rowing out of the Eastern Michigan women. And they are starting to push out a nice sprint as well, moving away from Ohio State, who seems content to just push it across at their base rating, and then 4 or 5 lengths back to Michigan State for this women's final at the Don Lubbers Cup.
Against them?